If I vote for a Democrat or a Republican,
Republicans and independents voted for Biden.
If I claim I'm non-emotional,
come on, man. It's a nice podcast, but you gotta fucking deal in facts.
Joe, you can get up and leave. I'm totally fine with that. We'll open the door for you.
I may, and it's
Patrick Bet David brought on this woke idiot Joe Walsh onto his show, the PBD Podcast, here on the Valuetainment YouTube channel, and Patrick Bet David absolutely annihilated this guy for these ridiculous stances that he had. This debate got really heated between PBD and Joe Walsh, and in my opinion, Patrick Bet David absolutely dominated the conversation here live on the PBD Podcast and the Valuetainment YouTube channel. Let's check it out.
I'm not a Democrat. You can call me a son of a bitch and a dishonest opportunist. I'm not a Democrat.
You said you are glad you voted for Biden, and you said you're happy you did.
Yeah.
So you've had a year and a half to assess that vote, and you're still happy about it.
I don't regret that vote.
Okay, so what do you think? What the situation today? The situation we're in today. Why are we in the situation we are today?
No, stop, my friend.
Exactly. Let's get emotional.
Listen, listen.
Why are we in the situation we are today? Tell me.
I asked you a specific question.
Which is what?
Am I a Democrat?
Based on what you're saying that you don't regret your vote, of course you're a Democrat.
That makes me a Democrat, even though I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a registered Democrat.
Because you supported policies of a Democrat.
Pat,
if I vote for a Democrat or a Republican,
Republicans and independents voted for Biden.
If I claim I'm non-emotional,
come on, man. It's a nice podcast, but you gotta fucking deal in facts.
If I claim I'm non-emotional, which you're saying you're not, okay.
Pat,
if I claim I'm not, what part of your vote today?
Did independents vote for Biden in 2020?
What part of your vote today?
See, he just doesn't listen.
Because you have an answer.
You are, look, you might not be a Democrat, technically, right? He's not registered to vote Democrat, so he's playing these mental gymnastics that all woke people play, where they're trying to wiggle out of certain arguments and having certain discussions by saying, well, I'm not a registered Democrat, so I can't be a Democrat. You idiot. You voted Democrat. You voted for Joe Biden. Who cares? Like, okay, let's grant him that he's not a Democrat. You are still part of the woke cult. If you voted for Joe Biden and you're not willing to admit that Joe Biden ran the country into the ground, you are part of the woke cult. You are an idiot. Whatever word you want to describe, we might not be able to call you a Democrat. Okay, maybe let's not call him a Democrat because that seems to offend him worse than being called an absolute idiot. Let's call him a woke idiot. Okay, maybe he's not a Democrat. If that's the absolute worst thing you can be called, then let's not call him that. But let's call it what it is. This guy's a woke idiot, and he shouldn't have a platform. I don't like. Why does anybody care who he votes for?
Answer my question.
How much longer is this, guys?
You haven't answered.
I'm having a ball.
You haven't answered my question yet.
No, I'm sitting 5 feet from you.
I get that, 3 feet.
Listen,
so what?
3 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you to your face, I am not a registered Democrat.
What part of the policies you voted for are you happy with today?
I'm not happy with. Let me finish a thought.
I want to hear it. Policies.
As I've said before, I'm not happy with the vast majority of policies Biden has done.
Yeah.
I'm not a Democrat. I don't regret my vote.
Yeah.
Plenty of.
If you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Independents and Republicans voted for Biden too, Pat. They're not Democrats. Maybe they regret their vote, but they're not Democrats.
But that's a difference, though.
No, you called me a Democrat.
No, that's a different, though. You supported.
You know what? You're un-American.
You supported Democratic policy.
You're un-American.
You can't say that. Why would you say that?
It's your opinion.
Because he's calling. No, exactly.
It's your opinion.
How stupid, Adam, is it for me to say that?
But if you can, validate the point,
but Pat sits there and says,
Pat,
"I'm a Democrat."
But if you validate the point, I'll take it.
I love you, man, and this isn't emotional.
If you validate the point, say it.
But there's no point.
Well, Pat, then tell me your policies.
There's no point.
What policies you voted for? What policies you voted for?
Dude, this guy, he's saying, I'm not emotional. I'm not emotional. I'm not a Democrat. And I'm going to leave. He's going to get up and leave the show because he's so unemotional, but he's so sure that he's not a Democrat that he has to get up and leave the show instead of having the discussion with Patrick Bet David here. Patrick Bet David is asking him clear questions, and he's just saying, Pat, I'm not a Democrat. Pat. Like, dude, shut up, listen to the question, and answer the question. Like, what is so hard about this? And like, he is so emotional. I wish he would just admit it and just be like, yeah, I'm emotional and I'm leaving now. This is embarrassing, man. This is embarrassing, but it's good that Patrick Bet David does this, dude, because there's not many other podcasts that do this, right? I love Tim Pool and what they do over there at Timcast, but whenever they bring on people from the opposite side, I guess he's not a Democrat, right? But this guy's he's the opposition, right? Joe Walsh is the opposition. And if he goes on Timcast, like they try their best to be cordial. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way of doing things. But I like how Patrick Bet-David brings on these guys like Joe Walsh and Anthony Weiner and these sorts of people. And he'll just straight up call them out, you know, from the jump. And he's just like, here's why you're completely wrong. Explain this. Why do you do this? Why did you do that? Do you regret this? And most of the time they have no answer. You know, Anthony Weiner, Joe Walsh, same thing. They will not answer. They just get emotional, start yelling, and it just becomes a shit show.
Pat, are you happy for the vote?
Pat?
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you a damn thing if you continue to call me a Democrat.
Then tell me what policies you don't support.
No.
Then tell me what policies you don't.
I'm not.
Then
I'm a Democrat.
Because tell me the policies.
Hey, Tyler, how much longer?
Tell me the policies.
Okay.
Joe, you can get up and leave. I'm totally fine with that. We'll open the door for you.
I may, and it's
you do,
Joe. You're going to be fine.
No,
you're going to stay there. You're good.
No. I'm totally okay with that. If you,
this is not emotional.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
So then give me a logical answer.
I'm not no. But stop for a minute.
Yeah, you said it's not emotional.
I left the Republican Party 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
I did not join the Democratic Party. I am an independent right now.
Mm-hmm.
So do not call me a Democrat.
But tell me what policies you supported that today are working, of Biden's policies.
I'd have a hard time picking. I can give you one.
Sure.
I'm glad Biden got us out of Afghanistan. I'm glad. I'll give you two. I like the simple.
This guy just, dude. I understand that we all know that Biden's presidency was an absolute disaster, but the fact that this guy, who's a Joe Biden voter, was asked by Patrick Bet-David, what are the policies that you love so much from Joe Biden? And this guy says, I love that we got out of Afghanistan. One of the most embarrassing days or couple of days in American history was the way that we got out of Afghanistan. So you know that if that's the only thing that they can bring up, and I understand that he's going to say, well, I'm not talking about the way we got out. I'm talking about the fact that we got out. But if there was a better option to choose that wasn't massively embarrassing to the United States, he would have chosen that one. The problem is there is none. There's no options. So why not just sit there and admit, yeah, my bad. I shouldn't have voted for him. That was a mistake. My bad. Why not just do that? This would be such a more pleasant conversation for you and for everyone else, for the listeners, if you just said that. But he can't. None of them can ever do that. It's actually so embarrassing, man. I can't. That is unbelievable that this guy was asked by Patrick Bet-David, what is one policy that you agree with, that you like from Joe Biden? He says the most embarrassing day one of the, not the most, but it was really bad, man. It was really bad. Like, yeah, it was one of, if not the most embarrassing day in American history. And that's the one that he brings up as a positive.
Infrastructure bill, that of the bipartisan infrastructure bill that Biden signed into law. Those are two that I approve. The vast majority of things Biden did, I don't support.
So you support the way we left Afghanistan?
Absolutely. I support us getting out of Afghanistan.
Let's clarify that. Do you support us getting out, or you support the way we left?
I'll answer that. I supported us getting out.
Because that started under Trump and the Doha agreements.
Yeah.
Hey, my friend. Yeah, that was a promise of Trump's that I supported. And I'm glad Biden got it done. And I believe that any way we would have gotten out of Afghanistan was going to be ugly and messy, and it was. But I respect Biden for having the balls for doing it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one.
Jeez, bro. Like, that was absolutely brutal. But once again, man, you got to give credit to Patrick Bet-David. He really does bring these woke people in, and he holds their feet to the fire, and you really got to respect it, because basically every single time they fold. And this is why they don't leave their echo chamber. This is why they like to watch people like Destiny and Hassan Piker and David Pakman and these sorts of people, because they like to just be cozy and comfy in their echo chamber where they don't have to have their ideas challenged, because that's what happens when their ideas get challenged. And even the thing that Joe Walsh brought up to Patrick Bet-David there about Joe Biden leaving Afghanistan, I actually didn't even know that, and that might be embarrassing for me to not know. But the fact that that was his one positive thing, and we all know how much of a disaster leaving Afghanistan was. That was his one positive thing. And I always know that they're going to bring up, well, it's not the way we left. I just like the fact that we got out. And the fact that we got out is actually thanks to Donald Trump, not even thanks to Joe Biden. that was massively embarrassing, man. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Patrick Bet David versus this woke idiot Joe Walsh situation here live on the PBD Podcast and the Valuetainment YouTube channel.